Do you remember this fake Lego set I got from AliExpress? Well, you will be happy to know that I've been on AliExpress once again and I've been searching for crazy deals for these fake Legos. And here's what I found. And of course I bought it. So let's take a look at this beautiful set. Well, first, the packaging. Yeah, this looks great, right? It's only been smashed like 10 times. And, well, this corner looks really interesting. It's almost as if there would be something missing. I wonder what logo could go there. But I guess nobody knows. With the Lamborghini set, it was fake Lego. However, I think it was an original design, because I wasn't able to pinpoint exact Lego model that it would be based on. However, this time, this looks almost exactly like the Porsche 911 from 2019. But we shall see that later. Well, let's see what's in the box. Bunch of bags, as usual. And yeah, here's the manual. Okay, that looks fine, I guess. And here we have the stickers. Well, okay. Well, they are a little bit bent. However, I don't think that that's gonna be a problem for me, because I tend not to use the stickers that much, because generally I'm not a fan of stickers on Lego bricks. All I hope is that this box is not the quality standard that we are looking at when we're gonna be building the set itself. But you know what they say, don't judge set by its box. And that's exactly why I'm gonna build this thing right now, and then we're gonna judge the hell out of it. It is done, and it is very, very big. It took me around 10 hours to actually complete this build. So, what can I say about it? The engineering, the design, the attention to detail, complexity, all the moving bits and pieces, and how it all comes together. It's amazing. It was an absolute joy to work on. But that is the praise that goes towards the original Lego company and people behind designing this model, because I believe this is one-to-one like copy of the real Lego set. Well, I'm gonna show you a small clip how it looks under the hood before we actually assembled the outer shell of the car. As you can see, there are this like very clever way how the steering works. We have this nice engine bit, everything is moving, and it's very, very well done. And that's all in all throughout this build. Everything just feels so solid and well designed. Every part of this car is very well reinforced, and it just doesn't feel like falling apart. And that is the thing I wasn't able to say about this Lamborghini. As I said, like it felt flimsy, and also it felt like it wasn't complete. I really love how this model has this nice suspension, and as I said, all the moving bits. You can open this rear end to see the engine inside. You can open both of the doors. It's just cool. But now let's talk about the part which truly matters when it comes to judging the work that was done by these non-branded brick manufacturers. First of all, the manual. Overall, it wasn't too bad, although I have some minor complaints. The first complaint that I have is some of these pictures themselves, the size of them. In some cases, it's really hard to see when it comes to like these specific smaller instructions. What is it that you're supposed to do at this step? For example, you can see that here we have this black piece. But can you really easily see that there at this first step is this little black piece inserted in it? Of course, if you pay attention farther on, you can tell that yes, there was this one, but in this first picture it's really hard to see. And then we have some mistakes like these where you just have multiples of the same part repeated, although you just need to use 2 of these in this step, they have given it twice. And here is another example where you have the parts listed over here, so you assemble them as it is told, and the arrow points that you should put this part over here. But what happens to this part and this one? You really have to pay close attention to find out that it is already been placed over here without manual specifically showing you that it has been done so. Well, these are just few examples, but you get the point. It's not perfect, although to be honest, well, you can get through, and I completely built this car by just looking at this manual. But now comes the part where I tell you how I know that this is block for block exactly the same build that LEGO did in 2019. Let me just grab these spare bits to explain. As you can see, we have plenty of spare bits, which is cool for such a large set, but as I was finishing the build, I ended up with these. And I became very suspicious because nowhere in this build we had any blocks like this. So I was thinking that maybe I missed like a step or few. So I came back to this manual, looking at it just page by page and trying to find whether I can spot this piece anywhere. And turns out I couldn't find it. So I opened LEGO Builders app in my phone and went to the original LEGO instructions, which to be noted are way better than these. And that's when I came to like 100% conclusion that this is the same build. As I was going through steps, I saw that steps are exactly the same using exactly the same parts. Only thing is that like these instructions are a bit more cramped together. There are way more stuff on each page, and for some of these the angle of the complete bit is a little bit different, but still it follows exactly the same order. So I went through all the LEGO instructions, and towards the very end I saw this. In this version we just don't have that step, therefore we don't use these parts at all. And to be honest, they are not crucial for this build, but it's just weird. It's actually kind of funny that they included these parts but never mentioned them in the manual, and they didn't give like all the parts from the LEGO set, because we have 4 pieces missing to actually complete that step. So you actually may say, well, this set is not completely one-to-one because this one doesn't have those tiny pieces underneath the car. The part where they would be going is here. This is actually like a nice angle to show you this car, like how it looks from underneath. You can see that we have like nice suspension and how the wheels are turning and everything. Oh, but now let's talk about the building brick quality. Well, how do I best put it? I was using this universal tool to actually complete the set. Let me explain. Most of the pieces were just fine. Some of them were quite loose, so that added kind of like an extra step in thinking where would you use them. For example, these little blue pieces. Many of them were just fine. However, some of them were extremely loose. So I was actively looking ahead in the instructions to see whether the place where I'm using it will come under like a great tension, and based on that I was deciding where I can afford to have pieces that are a little bit loose. However, the pieces that felt like a loose fit were nothing when compared to those pieces that were actually really hard to put together because they were just too tight. I had this cross beam thing like with a flat end that I was supposed to put through 3 other pieces to hold them together. It was almost impossible to do, and that is where I used these pliers just to have like a solid metal thing to press against so that I would be able to apply enough pressure just to put it in place. In fact, I needed to apply so much force that I was really concerned that I might break something. And yes, I double checked that there was nothing actually preventing me from like pushing that part in. And what I did, I took that part and I was trying it on like single loose pieces, and what I found out that it just barely were able to fit through these like regular sized holes that Lego pieces have. In other words, it was just a little bit too big. And I think there was something in general wrong with the mold for those parts, because although one was extremely bad, all of them were like really hard to put in place. And speaking of something wrong with the molds, there were multiple pieces that had these extra plastic bits on them. So once again, I was using my mighty multi-tool just to shave off the extra plastic bits. It got real annoying with these little guys because they had this extra piece of plastic that prevented them from fitting in these holes that they were supposed to go in. But yes, as I said, I'm a crafty person, so I was just able to fix it. Although I'm sure I don't have to point it out that that's not how construction sets should be. So yes, these parts are very inconsistent in their quality, and the precision is just not there. And it's really worth pointing it out because when you are taking Lego instructions, these models are built with the Lego precision in mind. So when you are applying the same building techniques as the Lego people do, however you don't have the same precision in your bricks, it becomes really difficult to put everything together. However, as you can see, this time I was able to finish the build. And one thing I can say, well, I didn't have any parts missing, which is a good thing. However, that being said, I think I got lucky there, and that's something you cannot count on when buying these non-branded bricks. Let me show you one other thing. Well, here's another example where imprecision comes in play. As you can see, this wheel is quite wiggly. It's actually true for both wheels on the back end. So as you put the car down and try to spin it backwards, the pressure is actually pushing the wheel against this bit right here, preventing it from spinning. It's actually worse when you put it on a side like I'm showing you right now. It's a little bit better this way because now you have two forces acting on the wheel. One is gravity that is pushing downwards, and another one is just dragging it backwards. But still, if you do it fast enough, you can feel that there is a drag on the wheel from time to time. So, to conclude, I don't think that I have a bad deal over here. I enjoyed putting it together, and it was a fun project for me. And there are so many pieces for the price that it is hard to argue against. This is a large set, and although I needed some extra hardware to actually put it together, I like crafting projects like these. Another thing is that I didn't have huge expectations for this set. I was not expecting the Lego brick quality out of it, and I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised that I got the set that they showed in a picture on the listing. Well, that's just because every time I order something on the internet, I feel like I'm playing the lottery. Will I get the set that I ordered? Will it have all the pieces? Will the pieces actually fit together and I'm gonna be able to complete the set? Those are the questions that I'm asking myself all the time, and as I said, it really feels like a lottery, and I got lucky this time. But in the end, this video is about me giving you my honest opinion about this set, and I hope you got something out of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, drop a comment. Maybe you can write in a comment, do you have any experience with these non-branded Lego sets? Do you have any good experience, bad experience, anything? Like, just write it down in the comments. And maybe subscribe to my channel. But this time, I'm saying you goodbye, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye, 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 bye. Ow. Like, this is a large car, man. Like, this is really, really large car.